here we are then, the final major project. Now this is the end of year summative unit. Unit 8, developing a creative media production project. Now this is the final unit of the year of the Level 3 Diploma in Creative Media Production and Technology that will ultimately dictate your overall grade, whether that be pass, merit, or distinction. Now, in the class with me, you are going to be reflecting on what's gone well this year, your career aspirations, what you would like to spend this period of time between now and the summer developing, creating, evaluating, growing within. So it's important you pick something that is dear to you, something that you want to throw yourself into fully, so you can actually create a project you can be proud of, a calling card to the industry. Now, the FMP is split into 6 parts, as follows: research, pitch and proposal, pre-production, production, research feedback, and, of course, evaluation at the end. We're going to be starting today's video by looking only at Task 1 research, and there will be 5 more videos, appropriately enough, for each of the remaining 5 sections we will go over. But today, in this introductory video for the first task of the FMP, it's important we focus our energies onto Task 1 research. So, in Classroom, you have your assignment brief that's been given to you. You also have this. Now, this is useful for your my fellow teachers and our team in general to help assess you and to see how you're getting on. So, as you can see, when I come to mark your work on June 7th, I'm going to be using this. I'm going to be looking at the criteria, analyse the requirements of a creative media production project, which is what the brief is asking you to do. And I'm going to be seeing if you've managed to do that to a pass, merit, or distinction level. We'll come back to that shortly. And I'll, of course, add some comments in here when I finally mark your work on June 7th. Task 1 research asks you to do the following. Individually, you must review a range, so at least 5, a range of research sources to support your creative media production project. So, a range, at least 5. You're going to be analysing existing similar media artefacts. So, if you're doing a photography portfolio, I want you to be looking at least 5 other photography portfolios, exhibitions, and so on. Existing similar media artefacts, media that is like the thing you're going to be creating for the FMP. This will help you gain an idea of the codes, so the symbols, the signs, the norms, the expectations, the conventions, what's expected, the tropes, you might think of it as, the techniques, the different ways the product you're creating is created normally, traditionally, and the methods, the way that people do it. So, look at and analyse, don't just describe, analyse, tell me how they do it and why they do it when they're creating similar media artifacts to the one that you're creating. Tell me about the codes and conventions, what's normal, what's expected, what are the traditional approaches to making such an artifact as the one you're planning to create. Tell me. Show depth of research by looking in detail, into real forensic detail, into the type of media artifact you want to create. How are you going to know how to create greatness unless you study greatness? So, get your teeth into a topic that you love and create a media artifact that deserves to sit alongside the great media artifact you're researching. The second part asks you to discuss how each of the artifacts inspires you, what techniques and methods you could pluck out from them and use yourself. Apply them to your creation. That shows that merit level straight away. You're not just describing, you're extracting key information from it and saying how and why it's relevant and what you can do to mix it into your particular approach. Summarize in your research what makes a good professional product similar to your chosen project. So after you've done the research, you'll have a good idea of, okay, so now I know what makes a good professional product in this particular field, whether it be film, TV, photography, journalism, whatever it is you're going to be creating. You'll know that by the end of this research. What constitutes good, professional, that standard we aim for. Then I want you to tell me how you individually will improve your skills or improve the techniques you use to create a product that is of professional standard. What do you need to develop over the next 9 weeks or so to create a product like this? What issues are you likely to face when producing such a project? Contact industry professionals, find out. Delve deep in your research here. Don't be passive, be proactive. The way I'm assessing Task 1 research is the submission evidence outlined here. I'm looking for the following on your WordPress. An individual research essay, analysing, not just describing, but analysing, telling me the how and why of the requirements of a creative media project. So how and why something like the media artifact you're going to create is created. That is Task 1. So when I come to mark Task 1, here is what I'm going to be using, just to be very transparent about this. I'm going to be looking at this here. So I'm looking to see whether you understand the context. So the context here, context is the situation within which your product exists. So what I mean by that is the circumstances in which the product exists and belong. So explaining and clarifying the product. So showing research and information into the history, the background of it, shows me you understand the context it belongs in, the world, universe it occupies. If you show me you understand that by doing the bare minimum, I suppose, and make some appropriate judgments as to what's good, what's bad. If you describe, don't go into much depth, but just describe the aims of the product you're creating and show some clarity, and that's a pass level straight away. If you're describing it, superficial, there's not much depth there. You show a basic understanding of that genre, that type, that universe of products, artifacts that you're creating within. Now, for merit level, you'll show a good understanding and knowledge of the subject that you're creating the artifacts within. So if it's films, you'll show a good understanding of the subject and a good knowledge of films, and understand the context which is created within. You'll make good, sound, well-judged decisions as to why something is good, why something is bad, and you will articulate that is, you'll make clear your ambitions, what you're going to create based on your findings, based on what you think is good or bad in that particular type of media. And you'll clarify your purpose. So from this research, we will see that not only have you done the research, you've actually learned from it and synthesized it into, okay, now I know what I'm going to create because I've studied the great examples within this domain, and now I'm going to create this from it. That shows that merit level. Distinction level, comprehensive detail, all the way through detail. Comprehensive understanding and knowledge of your subject, your domain, your area you're creating within. That knowledge of subject context is used clearly to communicate complex ideas, complex theories. Detail is what I'm looking for distinction. You articulate ambitions as to what you're going to create based on the research again, clarifying your purpose based on what you found. So not only will you show a comprehensive understanding of your subject, know it, and show real depth and love and care and passion of that domain, that area you're creating within. You will also communicate complex ideas within it. So you'll show me in-depth, meaningful, relevant examples and tell me why they're meaningful and relevant. And from that range of research examples, you will then tell me how you will create your meaningful, creative idea. You will articulate your ambitions clearly and clarify a purpose that shows real depth there. So that's how I'm marking it, just to be very clear with you. Now I've linked in Classroom, under classwork, the projects, of course here under UAL projects, but in this tab here, entitled Final Major Project, I've put past merit and distinction examples of previous work. So you can see what research looks like to a past level by looking at Mohammed's work here. You can see what merit level looks like by looking at Leo's blog here, which I've linked you guys to. So we go to FMP Research here. We can see what Leo did for a merit level. To see distinction level work, go to Curtis's blog and you'll see that next level I'm describing in terms of articulating real meaning and depth, understanding of the context he's working within. So, task 1, research. I'm looking for an individual research essay. So, any questions, speak to me in person, but that, my friends, is what I'm after, okay? Any questions, Hangouts will be the best way to book in that one-to-one with me. But this is an independent project, and I expect you to be problem solvers. So solve those problems and get your task 1 research submitted on your WordPress. Why not aim for the end of half term? Get feedback from me. There's no reason why you can't show it to me early to get some feedback. Okay? Good luck.